right. Commissioner Wiles already told me it's 9:01, and I'm slacking. Sorry, sir. I will do better.
Don't let it happen again.
I will not let it happen again. May we start with the roll call, Diane?
Commissioner Ashworth?
Here.
Commissioner Banks?
Here.
Commissioner Hassler? Commissioner Thompson?
Here.
Commissioner Wild?
Here.
Thank you very much. Lieutenant?
Yes,
Will you
sir.
just lead us in our pledge?
Absolutely. Please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. Probably appropriate, after we do the pledge, that we wish everybody a belated Veterans Day. For those of you in the room, are there any veterans in the room? Would you stand for us if you're here, please? All right, thank you. I'm sure that the board joins me in thanking everybody for your service. Thank you, and if we didn't get a chance to say thank you yesterday, we say thank you belatedly today. Thank you very much. All right, with that, Chief, we got a lot of work to do this morning.
Yes, sir, we do. First up, we want to accommodations for Sergeant Brent Watson. Come on up, Brent. All right, there you go. Congrats. Bob Lazinski. There you go, sir. And Brian Slattery. Brian, congrats. Captain?
Board of Police Commissioners, Chief Gregory, everyone here today. It's a privilege to be able to present this award for behind-the-scenes work that went into obtaining a maintenance contract that was crucial for the Metro Air Support Unit. Prior to 2024, it wasn't uncommon that we would have helicopters that were down for anywhere from 3 months to a year based on the past bidding process that we had to obtain parts. In early 2022, Brant, Bob, and Brian took it upon themselves and began their quest to secure an engine, parts, and airframe maintenance contract for the unit. Your numerous hours of research, your teamwork approach, and your unwillingness to never give up when others said this couldn't be done, you secured that contract in November of 2024. Because of this contract, the Metro Air Support is able to obtain parts for the helicopters as quick as 2 to 3 days. It keeps the helicopters mission ready to be able to support our St. Louis region. And finally, it keeps our officers, the community, and the pilots safe. So to the 3 Bs, thank you for your hard work and dedication in getting this accomplished. Thank you.
Well done, thank you.
Bob, you bring anybody here with you today? No? All alone, okay.
Hold on.
All alone. Brian, anybody here with you?
No, sir, I left my crew.
Left them there?
Ending the store.
All right. Sarge, anybody?
No, sir.
Great. Thank you, guys. Next up, Sergeant Brian Smith. And Phil, were you up here again?
Sir.
Congratulations. There we go. We're gonna take a picture here. Good. Who's up? Captain?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Chief, members of the board, on May 5th, 2024, the Central County Precinct received a call for shots fired in the area of 10,700 Wordak Avenue. Initial responding officers got there very quickly. They determined that there were 2 deceased individuals, a male and a female. They also identified a witness, and they broadcast a description of a possible suspect. Sergeant Schmidt and Officer Silver were responding to the call as well. They began canvassing the area. Sergeant Schmidt saw an individual matching the description of the individual homicide suspect, suspiciously leaving a wooded area and get into a vehicle. He initiated a traffic stop of the vehicle and approached the vehicle with Officer Silver. They were able to take the passenger of the vehicle, was an Uber, took them into custody. In the course of taking the individual into custody, they were able to recover a .40 caliber Glock 23 with an extended magazine that ended up being the weapon that was used in the homicide, and turned that over to DCI, who were able to get charges, 2 counts of murder second degree, 2 counts of armed criminal action as a result of the quick response by the Central County Precinct, broadcasting a description, and the work of Sergeant Schmidt and Officer Silver. They were able to take that individual into custody really moments after the shooting occurred. So, and as the chief mentioned, Officer Silver was here at the last Board of Police Commissioners meeting getting an award, and I will say I just was reviewing a police pursuit that occurred last week where Officer Silver initiated a pursuit for an armed carjacking suspect, which resulted in 2 people being taken into custody at the end of that pursuit. So not the first time Officer Silver has been here. This is pretty much characteristic of what we see on Officer Silver on a weekly basis. So not his first time here, probably will not be his last time here getting an award. So congratulations.
What are you gonna do this week?
Frequent flyer miles, huh? All right, thanks, man.
He needs a raise, chief.
You know it, you know it. He says, you know, passing here. Oh, yeah. Precinct.
Yes, sir. Well, I have my beautiful wife, of course. I have both of my parents here, mom and dad. And I got my grandma and my grandpa, who's a retired St. Louis City Sergeant.
That's where he gets it from.
Up next, Police Officer William Johnson.
Chief, members, all right, let me get out of your way. All right, Chief, members of the board, on July 12th, 2024, Officer Johnson was on patrol in the area in the North County Precinct when dispatch put information out about a robbery first carjacking suspect who is known to be in the area. Officer Johnson began canvassing and found that vehicle on Redmond Road and attempted a traffic stop. Surprisingly, that vehicle did not stop for Officer Johnson and fled. He initiated a pursuit and pursued it through parts of the North County Precinct where it eventually crashed. When it crashed, 4 juvenile occupants exited the vehicle and attempted to flee on foot. Now, unbeknownst to them, Officer Johnson is fleet of foot and captured one of those individuals almost immediately after exiting the vehicle. The other 3 were then later captured by other officers in North County Precinct. Because of the actions of Officer Johnson and the other officers, 3 dangerous individuals were taken off of the streets, transported to family court, held for their crimes, and then can later be prosecuted. Officer Johnson's dedication to his job is a testament to his skill, but I think it's also a testament to his dedication to the department and to the citizens of St. Louis County. Also, in a small twist, the week that he's receiving this award, on Monday, Officer Johnson was involved in a pursuit of 2 individuals who carjacked, or actually in a crime spree around St. Louis County, pursued them and took both those juveniles into custody. So congratulations for that, and congratulations for this.
40 times. Pretty fast.
That's pretty fast.
That's pretty fast.
Johnson, got anybody here with you today?
Yes, sir.
No?
Just me.
Thank you for all you've done. Appreciate it. All right, life-saving award for police officer Austin Beeserman. Come up, please. Congratulations, sir.
Good morning. It's my honor to recognize Officer Beesman from the North County Precinct for his heroic actions on October 6, 2024. At approximately 6:49 p.m., officers were dispatched to the 10,000 block of Castle Drive for a report of a shooting. When they arrived, they found 2 victims suffering from life-threatening gunshot wounds. One of the victims had sustained a severe gunshot wound to his chest and was in critical distress. As we all know, when there's an active shooting scene, paramedics cannot enter until officers first secure the area. Those moments between police arrival and paramedic arrival are often the most critical and sometimes the difference between life and death. Without hesitation, Officer Beesman immediately began rendering medical aid. He assessed the victim's injury, applied a chest seal, and provided life-saving care, all while keeping the victim calm and reassured until paramedics arrived on scene. His quick thinking, composure under pressure, and decisive actions directly contributed to saving his life. The victim was transported to the hospital where he underwent emergency surgery and survived, thanks in large part to the immediate care he received from this officer. Officer Beesman demonstrated exceptional courage, training, and composure in a moment where every second counted. His actions that night represent the best of this department and this profession.
Well done.
Big Spring, anybody here with you today? No, recognize? No? Okay. 2 promotions, if I could.
Please.
Three? I think it's 2.
There's 2.
I can't promote somebody. First up, Sergeant Mike Cooley.
Congrats on it.
Or we know you got at least one person here supporting you.
I do, Chief. Brother and sister-in-law, Heather and Bastion.
This guy, stand up, please.
Really good friend of mine, partner for a long time, Sergeant Brittany Klein. And then the retired Mr. Larry Fields, my twin, actually.
Of course, Sergeant Worth. Hey Keith, we would have waited and done this next month if you needed time to get all your family. You know how important it is, the family support that you get, so we would have waited, but they're all here. Next up is Sergeant Keith Crawford. Here, let's get in the picture. You want to be a part of this picture? Huh? Here, I want you to stand right here. You're adorable. Great. You want to meet your board? All right, you got 10 minutes to introduce.
Take 10
First and foremost, I'll start with my wife, just in case I run out of time.
That's why you decided.
Home behind me, so she can stand up. My beautiful family and kids are there. Every single one of them.
Yeah, time.
My mom and father here,
Okay, let me see, my sister, best friend, I got another best friend. Row 4, please stand up, guys. Best friend next to Detective Bell, Detective Wallace, my mother-in-law, right here. Let's see, my best friend over there, another best friend, 2 best friends, to stand on that end. Who else is over there? My cousin, there she is. Another cousin back on the wall.
Now we don't want to
A few other people might be hot, but,
Don't worry.
everybody else is general department support. Family, I missed you, I'm sorry I didn't see you. We would have waited for him. Congratulations.
Sorry. Give those to your brothers and sisters, okay? I think there's enough there.
I think that's it for me.
Okay, well,
We know now why we're in this big room.
right. And I will say, I'm here with the Crawford family as well. Well, thank you, everyone. One quick, this should have been an open discussion, and before we go to the meat of our meeting, I wanted to acknowledge Commissioner Thompson. He had a fantastic event on Friday, a charity event that he puts on. Commissioner Thompson sends has sent hundreds of kids on college visits. And that's his commitment to the community, to make sure kids have an opportunity to look at colleges they may want to attend, particularly HBCUs. And I just wanted to say publicly, I know Commissioner Weil was there in support, so as was the chief and the deputy chief and Colonel Mann, myself, we were all there. Wonderful event and fantastic what you do for the community. I want to make sure we recognize you for that.
Thank you.
With that having been said, we are about to jump into what we call the meat of our meeting, a lot of business stuff. Everyone is certainly welcome to stay. It's riveting, you should stay. But if you want a head start, we give you like 2 minutes to get a head start. We thank everybody for coming. And there they go.
About to add an extra 2 minutes for the Crawford family.
Yeah.
One short, all right. We can't do that.
We gotta give an extra 2 minutes for the Crawford family to make it out.
Yeah, they'll sort of fight.
How are
That's
you
great,
today?
man, having your family here. That's great.
Man, fantastic.
Yeah,
great
absolutely.
family. And Chief, you notice how he introduced his wife first. You notice?
Right.
Man, volunteers work nights. I don't blame him. All right.
Congrats, Sarge.
Congratulations.
That's fine. Volunteer work nights.
That's the only problem with getting promoted.
I can't believe they didn't stay for the report.
I can't believe it either, because this is interesting stuff.
I know. Every month. They
Yeah, they sure do. My 3 minutes of not great news.
Okay, we're going to continue with our meeting. In 1 moment. Hey, you made it all right?
Hi, Thompson.
Doing okay? Doing okay? That's okay, that's okay. That's okay. Okay, before, right, 1 second before
Yep,
we get started,
I'm good.
I want to make sure Diane
good. Yep.
reflects that Commissioner Hassler is here for our vote. Okay, thank you. With that, you have the room.
Thank you.
What's left of it?
Yeah, right. Good morning. The total shortage expected for this year is up a little bit to 270,000. I showed you, I don't know if you looked at what I sent you, but I kind of went through a lot of the accounts this time to get a little bit better reflection of where we're at, since I am going to have to go talk to the budget director and talk to the council budget policy coordinator to get a supplemental, just to be safe. You know, we could still make it, but I don't think we're going to. So that will be this week. I'll talk to them about it when they want to do it. Okay, so the overtime is projected a little bit higher, 4.8 short. Retirement payouts is still the same at 1.9 million short. The retirement fringe is expected to have a surplus of 2.3 million. Medical is still showing 1.4 million surplus. And that is really about it for the 2025. If you have any, do you have any questions on the 2025?
The 1.4 million on building and equipment maintenance?
Yes. Wait, let me look real quick. I believe that is, okay, so that was where the camera system was paid out of that, but it was budgeted up. If you see up in 520210, the other personal services, that has the surplus of 1.4. So they offset each other. Thank goodness they're in the same category.
Thank you.
Sure. And then 2026, the budget is with council. We had our hearing on the 23rd. I think it went well. And they still have hearings through November. So we're probably not going to hear anything till December on what kind of changes they have made to our budget. The ARPA funding, we've spent 37.7 million. We've submitted to the state 18.8 million. We've been reimbursed 17.5, and that's a $46 million project, just to remind you guys. So we're getting close. And that is all I have.
Questions?
Okay, thank you.
And they missed that. Can you believe it? All right. Empty podium.
Captain, I talked with him after the last meeting, he promised me they're gonna take it easy.
Oh, fantastic. I appreciate that.
But our fingers are crossed on the promise.
Yeah, we don't always tell the chief the truth.
Well, good morning. I'm here again.
Good morning.
All right, I'll be reviewing October statistics with you this morning again. Notable events for the month of October. We've had 3 citizen complaints received that were investigated by BPS, bringing our total to 16 for the year. To give you some context behind that, of the 16 complaints that were investigated, only 3 of those year-to-date have been sustained allegations. Of those 3, they'd be categorized as procedural or policy violations, very low level, nothing in the line of would be considered misconduct. The others, officers were outright exonerated, are the cases unfounded. So that makes up the 16 so far year-to-date. Even though the increase is some 45.5%, the numbers are still relatively small. So moving on, internal investigation incidents, we've had 118 year-to-date. 8 were received last month. Of those, the majority of the 118 is preventable motor vehicle accidents. That makes up 45 of that 118. The other categories would be same thing, procedural violations, either not activating the body camera or losing equipment, damaging equipment. So nothing in the line of like gross misconduct. So uses of force incidents are still down pretty significantly. So arrests are up, which you'll see in a couple slides. However, we've only had 331 uses of force year to date. That's about 2.5% to 3% of our arrests involve a use of force. So nationwide, that's the statistics about 4%, so we're just under that. But that's still a good trend to see how down that is. Department of Vehicle accidents, we've had 100 year to date, which is down 5.7%. And then vehicle pursuits are also slightly down by almost 11%. We had let's see here, 5 last month. And moving on to failure to yields, that's also down fairly significantly by almost 500, bring our total down to 27.9% compared to this time last year for failure to yields.
What do you attribute that to? I mean, that's almost half what it was 2 years ago.
That is a good question to ask, and looking at that, education, I think on behalf of the public, and then our officers are a little bit smarter in how they go about initiating traffic stops, to where sometimes it's not tactically appropriate to hit the lights and sirens until maybe you have officer stage up ahead. So coordinating traffic stops prevents people from fleeing sometimes. So, but that is a good question to ask, because it's fairly significant, especially compared to 2 years ago, we're down over 1,000. So, any questions on that first slide?
The Antonio Valentine Law might have something to do with that also.
Yep.
Stiffer punishment for fleeing.
Word gets out there that if you flee from us, you're gonna get prosecuted. So, word of mouth, I mean, that's all contributes to that number going lower.
Can you also talk the same question on the vehicle accidents? It's down about 40% over the last 2 years. That's pretty significant also.
I would more cautious driving on behalf of our officers, or we have a newer, patrol force. So it's a lot of our officers graduated from the academy, had recently had EVOC training and whatnot. So they're more cautious, defensive in their driving.
Thank you.
Yep. Any other questions on that first slide? Sorry. That's the heat map for failure yields. This is pretty consistent month to month, where the majority of those in the 1st and the 8th precinct. And then when it comes to time of day, late evening, early morning hours, where you see the majority of those. Highlights, 903 arrests for the month of October, 84 guns were seized, and 57 DWIs. That's up almost 60% compared to this time in September. So our highway safety unit had some detachments in September. Now they're all back. So that numbers went up a little bit. Of note, the arrest data was pulled fairly early for the month of November. So this is probably actually a little bit higher because reports weren't done yet and whatnot. But that's where we're at as of a week and a half ago.
Captain, do you know how many of those arrests were felony arrests?
I do not have that, but that's something we'll discuss in the next year, breaking that down for you.
Thank you.
Yep. Another good trend is crime overall. You'll see for crimes against persons and crimes against property is relatively down in all categories, down by almost 6.7%. Homicides are down. We've had 29 year to date compared to 33 this time last year. So as you can see, every major category for the most part is down. There's the infographic for our homicide numbers. We had 4 in October. All 4 were in St. Louis County patrolled areas. Some of those are still in progress as far as the investigation. But looking at year-to-date numbers, we've had 34 year-to-date, which is, like I said, down from last year. And our clearance rate month to month is very, very exceptional on that. So over 100%. Any questions on that slide before I move on? I'll echo again what I just said. Crimes against property down in almost every category, with the exception of we had the 2 categories of robberies with dangerous weapons or instruments. At the very beginning of the year, there was a slight uptick. However, that's leveled off quite a bit. The percentage looks fairly large, but the numbers are very small. But every other category is down, especially motor vehicle thefts. That's down. Same thing I attribute it to education. People are locking and securing their vehicles. Crimes against society, also the same trend. Not a whole lot to talk about there. It continues to be down compared to this time last year in every major category. Calls for service. Directed calls and self-initiated calls you'll see are trending right along the moving average. There's not a whole lot of significance there. Coming out of the summer months into the fall, we'd expect that most precincts, calls for service are going to start to go down a little bit, and then freeing up time for self-initiated or activity. And there's that chart for self-initiated. Top calls, this is consistent month to month, sick cases, and then for self-initiated extra patrols and traffic stops. So our guys are doing a lot of self-initiated activity out there, almost 3,000 traffic stops in September. Of note for the TSR report is our bias-free policing committee met 2 weeks ago. That's myself, Colonel Schneider, and Captain Means. So we kind of look at traffic stop data a little bit closer than what you're seeing right now. It's not an anomaly to see some statistical outliers. So there were a couple on the last TSR report. It doesn't mean anything's wrong. It just means they need to be take a look at it a little bit closer. So sometimes that involves a discussion in the committee, and then we reach out to the work element where that officer is assigned to try to find out why that's the case. We did that, and there was nothing unusual to report, no problems or concerns. The report was submitted to the chief to review.
Would that be an officer writing more tickets than the average of the
Yes.
population in the precinct, or?
Yes, so what typically happens, what you see on the report is you might have 95% of the platoon is doing right about, I'm just gonna throw a number out there, 10 or 11 traffic stops, and then you might have an officer that's writing 20 to 30 or 40. That throws off the statistics. So when you look at it from a 10,000-foot view, the numbers don't tell the whole story. Of course, the committee does not operate, we don't have the context of justification behind the stop. So to look at that a little bit closer sometimes requires a contact with the commander. Can you take a look at this and make sure that the traffic stops are legally sound? So from doing that, there's no concerns.
Thank you.
Any questions at all? All right, thank you.
Oh, I do have a question.
Yeah.
Can you go back to crimes against society?
Yes.
So I was looking at the prostitution offenses. They're usually pretty low. Looks like they're really jumped up. Any
So
reason you think?
majority of these categories I would contribute to, we are investigating those. That's proactive police work you're seeing there. So that's usually like our BSI or special investigations units that are out seeking that. So when those numbers go up, they probably did some sort of a detail, something like that to specifically target that.
Okay, because they're generally pretty low. So I was just curious.
Correct. That's what I attribute that to.
Thank you.
I recall earlier in the year, we had a prostitution offense that I think had 7 or 8 people in it at one time. I know that question came up earlier in the year, too.
Yeah, one incident can have several numbers out of one incident. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Chief, looking at those numbers, I would congratulate you, the command staff, and the officers in the police department, because it looks to me like, you know, we're aggressively fighting crime and doing so in a very safe and efficient manner. So I think that's, you know, as a board member, that's all I can ask for. And it seems to me like you're hitting a home run, you and your team.
And when you hear about the manpower short and then the commitment that these guys are still putting on out there, getting these numbers to where they are, yeah, it is a commitment to those guys out on the street. Thank you.
It's noted.
Good morning.
Good morning. We haven't seen you in a while.
I know. Well, Lieutenant Higginbotham's at the range, so I jump right back in. But today I wanted to kind of share some different statistics to kind of give a little bit more overview and kind of compare to the last 2 years. Commissioner Ashworth, I know you had specifically asked for some numbers, so I have those as well. But this is retention, and this is all staff. So this is commissioned and pro staff. But just to kind of give an idea, so the blue number, that's going to be the numbers that we've hired. And then the gold is those that have left, so retirements and resignations. As you can see here, we have quite the increase in the number of people that we've hired, and we're actually down a little bit to last year, specifically for those that have left. So we're definitely trending in the right direction. And I break it down a little bit more specifically to patrol. So I think that was kind of the question that was asked last time. How many do we have out on the streets right now? So this year, as of today, we have 614 patrol officers. So this is not just commission, this is just patrol. And really compared to the last 2 years, we are down just a little bit, but as you can see, the number of authorized positions is also down. And what that is we have converted, as we've kind of talked about in the past, several positions to professional staff positions. So that's why that authorized number has also gone down. So what I did was I calculated our vacancy rate, because that kind of gives us a better snapshot of, how many vacant positions are we looking at. And as you can see here, it's pretty consistent. Last year was a little bit higher, which the higher the number, the worse it is. So we want to definitely be lower. And just to give you an idea, the national average for law enforcement agencies is about 10%. So, we're sitting at about 13% of vacant positions right now. So just a little bit higher than that national average. But that's kind of what we're looking at with patrol specifically. And then with professional staff, the numbers are pretty similar as well, but 11% is our vacancy rate right now. But as you can see, we've gone up significantly in the number of bodies we have for professional staff, and that it also is due to converting some of those positions from commission to pro staff. Any questions about those two? I know it's a lot of data very quickly, so I just want to make sure. Any questions at all on those?
Well, my question is, the authorized staff versus actual staff, what is the timing of, if they've been authorized, what takes so long for them to become actual staff?
So that's just the hiring piece. So we're losing people, but we're hiring and trying to kind of keep up with that. So, we lose, say, 50 and we've hired 30. That was last year was our pretty close to our numbers last year. This year, we're a lot closer to what we're losing. We're also hiring, especially with experienced officers, which is a huge deal. They're getting to the road a lot quicker. And so that, for instance, I think we have, it's on one of the other slides, but I think we have several in backgrounds right now for experienced. So not only trying to fill the academy to kind of bridge that gap, but also experienced officers.
What is the timing? I guess that's what I'm getting, because I know of a few people who've applied, there were vacancies, they went to the website, they applied for positions, so forth, never ever gotten a call back. There has been no follow-up. And, I don't know what the process is per se, but on the surface of their resumes and things of that nature, they seem pretty qualified. So I was wondering what takes so long to get the call back, go through the process, then ultimately a decision being made, whether they're hired or whether they're rejected.
Right.
How long does that typically take?
So it's a little bit, so it depends. Usually from the date of application to say their start date is usually about 3 months, all encompassing. However, there's a lot of things that happen along that way. So one of our biggest hurdles is people that stop responding to the process. So we're emailing, we're texting, we're calling, and we can't get a response. Or we lose them in the very early testing phase. But it's just really our trend is people stop responding, whatever that might be. But our recruiters have a 24-hour turnaround when it comes to contacting someone that has applied. And that's typically a phone call to say, okay, let's do the next step. And then just going through that whole process. But really start to finish is about 3 months, sometimes a little bit quicker, depending on how quickly they're getting things back to us and how quickly we're able to turn that around.
Okay, so typically the 24-hour turnaround from the time that someone applies to a position online, they should get some response
Yes.
within 24 hours.
Yes, and so, traditionally we would email. So the last couple of years, we would typically send an email. However, we probably about 6 months ago got cell phones for our recruiters so that they could text. That's huge. That's, the generation now that we're really kind of targeting, that's what they do. They live to text, right? So making sure that we're getting to them, and a lot of times we'll have sent them an email maybe 2 weeks ago, we text them and they respond within 5 minutes. So, and that has a lot to do with too, is it going to their spam folder? So there's a lot that really goes into that, but we're making sure we're covering all of those bases to get in touch with these people.
Thank you.
So you're welcome.
Executive Director, if you don't mind, I'll follow up on that. So will someone from your team reach out to Commissioner Thompson to find out who those people are?
Yes.
So we can determine whether we did reach out or didn't reach out?
Absolutely. Yep, we'll follow up. Yeah. All right. Any other questions about those?
Can you go to one more slide just for a second?
This one?
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
All right. And then just kind of an update with, kind of our recruiting efforts and our backgrounds. We have 46 people in backgrounds right now. And I have 3 full-time background investigators, so they are very busy. But we have, security has been a big focus for us lately outside of commissioned. We've had 14 vacancies, so we're really trying to get that. A lot of our overtime spending right now is in security, so really trying to get them staffed to help with that. We just posted a new position that's a security guard where they don't have to be 21, they can be 18. It's going to give a little bit more opportunity for advancement. A lot of the feedback that I was getting from security officers is like, we have nowhere to go from here unless we want to go to the academy, and a lot, they just may not. So this is going to give a little bit more of that succession planning as well. We have 7 experienced officers in backgrounds right now, which is great. And then 11 more recruits. So we're still trying to fill that January class. We're getting down to the wire now. And then the others are pro staff. One I'll also talk about is our part-time recruitment marketing specialist. I know Lieutenant Higginbotham touched on that. That person is almost done through background, so we'll be able to get them on board and really focus on our social media efforts with just recruitment. And then 2 care clerks and 2 record clerks. So, you know, they're definitely keeping busy with these backgrounds, and we're getting a great volume. But again, it's trying to reach the right people. A lot are not qualified, you know, for various reasons. So trying to make sure that we're getting the right people.
I had a question on that.
Yes.
What would prevent a security person that was selected, that's gone through the process, from becoming an officer if he chooses to try to go to the next level and, you know, to go through the academy, for example? What would, you know, if, in my mind, if they were qualified enough to become a security guard in one of our facilities, what would prevent them from going to the next level?
Just the testing is typically what we're coming across, yes. So, you know, they still have to, they have to pass the physical test. We don't do a physical test for security guards or security officers. So that's typically where we see it be delayed, you know, and it's never like you didn't pass, that's the end of the road. You know, of course, we try again, and we provide them with some help fitness-wise at the academy to kind of get ready for that and be able to pass it again. But it's usually the testing is where that kind of roadblock comes in.
Not just physical, though. I would imagine the other tests.
Correct. Yeah. It's just physical seems to be the most common.
Okay.
Usually the written tests aren't as much of an issue.
Thank you.
Do we have any do we put the experienced officers through a mini academy? I mean, since we're the premier police organization in the Midwest, how do we make sure that they're at our standards?
Right. So, I mean, they have the field training. So they still go through a field training process, but not an academy per se. Some bigger departments do. They have every single person hired goes through an academy, and sometimes they do have like an experienced officers academy. But for us, we do field training so that they can learn our systems and learn our ways and things like that, but not an academy per se.
Did you say some or all?
All experienced officers go through field training.
Good.
Yeah.
7 is a great number.
It is. It is. We haven't seen those kind of numbers in a long time. So, you know, our pay, we're getting more competitive. And so I think that that's helped us a lot. We no longer have the height and weight standards. So a lot of times, you know, they would look at this table, and the table was from, I think, 1999, if I remember correctly. So outdated. And they would look at that and say, I'm not even going to apply. I don't want to do the physical test. You know, I know that I can be an officer. I'm literally an officer today. And so we took that away, and that has really helped us as well. Any other questions about this one?
Not on that, but maybe on the third one down, 11 recruits. How many people total? You said we're coming to the end of the line for the December or January Academy. Where are we?
We have 4 confirmed, 2 more in polygraph right now, so the very last step. Or I'm sorry, not polygraph, medical and psych. So that's the last step. And then the 11 that are in backgrounds right now.
So we'll have 18 if everybody makes it through.
Yes. Yep. We do still have 4 more that are doing the physical test this Friday, which we still have time to get them through if they pass that and everything, you know, keeps moving forward. So there's a potential for a little bit more, but this is our last Friday that we're doing testing in order to have time to get everybody through.
Thank you.
And then in terms of recruiting, I believe Lieutenant had kind of mentioned, but we have our new professional staff recruiter, Hannah Lynch. She's in the picture on the left there. She has just taken off. It's been great. So she's been able to take a lot off the plates of our recruiting officers. So she's focusing just on professional staff. Our recruitment officers are still doing security at the time being, just because it's a little bit more involved until she's up and running completely. So she's been a great addition to them. She's been attending events. Our recruiters as a whole, they are attending 97 recruiting events this year. So they are very busy. We've gone across 10 states. And we've had 11 that are just military-specific events that have been really successful for us as well. So that's just kind of a good snapshot of what the recruiters are doing. I mean, I hardly ever see them. They're out and about, and that's where they should be. And it's great, so. And that is all I have. Any other questions?
Well, somehow we got to connect you with Commissioner Thompson and what he does with his young people. See if we can make that a recruitment. We can throw a little recruitment in there.
Yeah.
He deals with a lot of young people.
Absolutely. We got to start early. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely would like to talk to you about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
The military-specific events, are those on bases, or do you participate with the recruiting officers?
So sometimes they're on bases, and that's kind of what we've traditionally done. We've gone to the bases, they have specific events. But this year, we actually added a couple events that, like we had one in Kentucky and one in North Carolina, I believe it was, that is put on by a veterans organization. And it's just for veterans. And so those have been really successful for us as well. It's a little bit higher numbers because you're not pulling from just one base. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else? All right, thank you.
See you again.
Yes.
Next up, I know Julie showed you the number of patrol officers that are out on the street. You probably saw that number, something like, what?
614.
614. That's not all that we police officers we have out here. The rest of those people are probably detectives. They belong to Colonel Lohr. Colonel Lohr and Captain Cadillac will come up and give you a little insights about criminal DCI.
Morning.
Good morning.
Give me a second here to get this going.
Where's the colonel?
He's sitting right over there.
I think he should come up
He just
also.
pushed you. He's the one who pushed you. Huh?
All right. Good morning. How's everybody doing?
Good morning.
Good. All right. So as the chief said, I'm Tony Cavaletti, captain of the Bureaus of Investigation. And I could probably wrap this presentation up in about 2 to 3 hours a day. So hopefully that works
back.
for you guys. Yeah, okay. All right. So let me get back here. All right. So the Bureaus of Investigation are under the Division of Criminal Investigation. Division of Criminal Investigation, led by Colonel Lohr, has the Police Crime Lab. That's Director Lisa Campbell. Bureau of Drug Enforcement, which is Captain John Wheeler, and then myself in the Bureaus of Investigation. Under my command, I have crimes against persons, crimes against property, and criminal identification. We have 3 lieutenants, 11 sergeants, 65 detectives, and approximately 15 professional staff that are under in the Bureaus of Investigation. So I'm going to just go over a few of the highlights and what these units and the good work the men and women do. Start with crimes against persons. We have 4 different units: homicide, robbery, sexual assault, domestic violence, child abuse, and special investigations. Homicide, robbery, sexual assault, we have 2 sergeants and 17 detectives. Those are broken into 2 squads. They handle the most serious crimes that St. Louis County Police Department handle, which are death investigations, major assaults, robberies, sexual assaults, and then any other case that the chiefs or colonel decide that we need to take care of. Death investigations, everybody wants to know those numbers, so I'll kind of go into the homicides of what they look at, what we look like right now. We have 34 homicides compared to 57 at this time last year, so we're down 40%. We have a 115% clearance rate, and that's for all of the homicides that we investigated, so unincorporated, contract, and municipal. And then we have 32 of our 34 are currently cleared. We hope to, there's 2 out in Jennings that we're working on, and we hope to get those cleared up by the end of the year as soon as we can there. So it's a lot of great work. If you compare the clearance rate from what I talked about there, national is about 61 to 62%. Also in robbery, homicide, robbery, sexual assault, or under crimes against persons, last year we started the FIT team, which is a force investigative team. It's 5 detectives who have a lot of experience in investigating critical incidents, along with different types of training that allow them to get the up-to-date knowledge on how these investigations should be handled. So we have 5 detectives who work on those. In 2024, we had 12 critical incidents they handled. This year, we've had 13 so far. And it's, we just call it the FIT team, but it's a force investigative team. Into domestic violence, we have a sergeant and 5 detectives, and they handle just what it sounds like: domestic violence cases, which are family-related or relationship-related cases, sexual assaults, violations of order of protections, and missing persons. The one that kind of gets overlooked sometimes is the missing persons. We have 1 detective who handles that. There's over 420 cases that have gone across her desk so far this year. It's a lot. Now, it's a lot of back and forth. We count on patrol to help us out with checks and so forth of looking for everybody. But it's a lot of people that come across that desk, so it's a tedious job. Child abuse and special investigations, probably the 2 hardest units to work at in the department because of what they actually deal with, and that's child crimes. Child abuse has 1 sergeant and 4 detectives that do sexual and physical assault cases of children. They have about 114 so far for the year. And special investigations has a sergeant and 7 detectives. Out of those 7 detectives, 1 is a Jefferson County officer, 1 is a St. Charles County, and 1 is a Maryland Heights detective. They all work out of our office on the 2nd floor, but they all work at these internet crimes against children, human trafficking cases, and any other case. Don't want to get in a lot of specifics on that, but they handle other cases too. Out of all the cases or all the units I just spoke of, special investigations is the only one where we're handling more cases already this year than we did last year. So it's a sad fact, but it is what it is. They've already handled more investigations than a total of 2024. Next is crimes against property, where we have burglary, bomb and arson, general assignment, and auto crime, which report to general assignment. Burglary, we have one sergeant, 6 detectives. They handle the burglaries, whether it's someone burglarizes a house that's occupied or with a weapon, or if it's a vacant home. For St. Louis County, the police department, what we investigated, we're down 24% so far for burglaries for the department. Bomb and arson, we have 1 sergeant and 4 detectives. We also work closely with the city as far as that unit goes. They handle suspicious fires and explosion devices, and that kind of goes the pattern of what you would think. We do most of the work in the city, counties second, and then municipalities are the third one as far as numbers of what we do there. A couple really nice things that are going on with bomb and arson right now. Just late last week, we finally got into our lease space that stores all of our equipment. We got a lot of money on that equipment, on the vehicles and all the equipment for bomb and arson. So we now have a warehouse where they're stored in a climate-controlled area, and it looks very nice. I was over there Monday. It looks great. So we're able to, that just came through. And you guys were aware about the boat. We were trying to get a boat. I think we presented that to you a while back. That got approved. So that boat will be the end of next year. I'm trying to get my name on it. I don't know if they're going to go along with that or not, but it's
already SS Lore.
I forgot. Yeah, I forgot. So that's that will be infrastructure checks on the rivers that we can go up and down the river and check on bridges and so forth. So that's good to have.
Sir, why so long to get it?
They have to build the boat.
Oh.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
From the ground?
Then we go to general assignment. General assignment, it's the paper trail, right? They have all these cases where they got all this paperwork they're following through on to lead them to the suspect. It's frauds, counterfeit checks. It's 1 sergeant, 4 detectives. They stay very busy doing that. They do a great job. Auto crime, we have 2 detectives that report to the sergeant in general assignment. They handle the stolen cars and stolen auto parts. Auto crime detectives have worked about 620 cases so far this year. If you go back to 2022, when we had our Kia and Hyundai issues we worked over 2,600 cases. So you can tell how that's gone down drastically, and we're all happy for that. I did not mention earlier, crimes against property and crimes against persons for St. Louis, the PD, are both down about 10% for the year. And then criminal identifications, crime scene unit, fugitive, property control and conveyance. Crime scene unit has 3 sergeants, and in a few weeks we'll have 20 investigators, and that is going to be 10 commissioned and 10 professional staff. That's been going pretty well. The issues that you think we might have with that is what we had, where we hired a few people where they had never seen what they were going to see when they had to process these scenes. And that usually works itself out, and we've lost a few because of that, and some good investigators, but we should be full here soon again, and again, it's 10 and 10. They've handled 47 homicide scenes for the year, and over 2,300 multiple other crime scenes, whether it's a car, or whether it's a house. So again, those men and women do a great job. Fugitive, we have 4 detectives who do all out-of-town arrest. So if anybody has a warrant in California and Texas, wherever, we send those detectives go. We also count on patrol a lot to help supplement us, the manpower with that. So we always appreciate patrol helping us out on that, but they go do the out-of-town arrests. Property control, they have the evidence, safekeeping, and the biggest part of what we have there is that we have that new location coming. We have over 165,000 pieces of evidence, and all that has to be stored somewhere, and we're at maximum capacity right now. So that is going to be at the new facility that will open up in May or June, so we're real excited about being in there. And then conveyance, unfortunately, we don't do a lot of conveyance for our own precincts. Most of it is going to municipalities or St. Louis City and bringing people back to Clayton. So unfortunately, we can't help our men and women out there on patrol, but they do stay busy just bringing other criminals back into the area.
Captain,
So-
go ahead, sorry.
I was going to say, before any questions, I got one more slide. Deputy Chief asked me to speak about, give you a quick update on Save Lives Now. So I'm going to do that real quick here. Remember, Save Lives Now was we got into it in December of 2023, and we wanted to, it's trying to drop violent crime in a 3-year span by at least 20%. We use focused deterrence, which is us going out there and speaking to individuals, cognitive behavioral theory, which is trying to teach people how to handle conflict differently, and then street outreach, which is bringing people who have gone through this before to talk to the individuals and try to stop it from happening, any violent crime from happening. So we've been working up north. We work with the St. Louis County Violence Reduction Team. That's Tom Crease over under Sam Page in county government. And what happened, we just started doing custom notifications as of August 22nd. And the custom notification means we find some individuals that we believe may benefit from us speaking with them. And this comes through police reports and shootings that we have. And we look for retaliation, try to, who can we get that, might kind of stop this from happening, stop the pattern. So once we get that, Tom and Sergeant Brandon McQuarrie, who is our community engagement sergeant, go out to the home and try to find individuals and speak with individuals, offer resources, try to get them to understand what is going on. And the key thing there is not just trying to offer resources. We do also tell them what happens if you decide to go the other direction, which is there's consequences for your actions. So we've had 8 so far that we've done up north with a 75% contact and 75% accepted and referred to support services. So we've got at least 6 people out there that were willing to open the door for us, listen to us, and actually took some services that we offered. So it's a start. We'd like to increase engagement, so the more the better, and then try to get our municipal partners in there. To go along with that, precincts 1st and 8th and the captains out there continue to do these neighborhood restorations. We've had 6 of them so far this year, and that's when they go into the community and try to stop the crime that's going on at that point in time, make arrests if they need to. They've had 6 of them, and I'll give you these numbers, they're great. 23 felony arrests, 24 warrants issued, over 300 traffic stops, 325 citations, 171 warnings, seized 13 handguns. So that's great, but then what are we doing after the fact, right? So they continue to do these walk and talks, and as they do these walk and talks to the neighborhood, they do them after a week after or so after the neighborhood restoration's done. And they've had over 300 homes visited, 162 contacts made, 160 resources given out, and given away 55 gun locks. So we're trying to do everything we can as stop the crime. I do look at it where the county police department's doing what we can to stop violent crime, and then when violent crime happens, we do hold people accountable for their actions. And to go back to that real quick, there's a lot of people to thank for the initiatives that are done in the precincts, whether it's the captains out there or special ops. It's been a lot of their people and manpower out there. So can't go through everybody, but a lot of different groups are involved in that. So that's all I have. What can I answer for you?
I had a comment, actually. Do you partner with any other organizations? The Save Lives Now program seems like it's pretty good. I guess it's too soon to really see the results, effectiveness.
It is. It's going to take a while to be able to tell what worked and what didn't.
Because I know Urban League has a similar program. Do you guys?
So we worked with the Urban League beforehand. This is, and Deputy Chief would be able to explain a little bit more, but we did look to partner with them as this went on, and things kind of changed where they're necessarily not involved in this program. I couldn't tell you exactly why, but they're not necessarily partners for what we do.
Okay.
But, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Tom Crease, who works over there for the county government, he has all these resources in different groups, so they still maybe work with them, Urban League, and do the back part of it that I don't see. I just can't tell you that 100%.
Gotcha. The other thing, your program, you got a lot on your plate there, and that's, you guys seem to be doing an excellent job. But with the shortfall of officers just throughout the entire district, do you feel you're adequately staffed? Do you feel like you could use more officers? That's the first question. The second question, are there officers within the departments who would benefit from transferring and getting more experience in your department?
Yeah, so I think I go along, I'll stand in line with the chiefs and colonels on this. That patrol's the backbone of the police department, right? Everything they do starts and ends at patrol down there. So for me to say that we could use more bodies, yeah, but I totally understand the way that goes. And if patrol's not staffed well enough, then we're not going to be asking for more bodies to come upstairs to do that. We can always use more help, sure, just like every other unit in the police department, but we're making it through, and we'll continue to do so. We offer programs at any point in time, not programs, but any officer can go through the chain of command and ask to come and do a ride along so they can see what it's like in the detective bureau, get to meet some people, so there's name recognition there too, but they can come up here and try to, do ride-alongs for 2 or 3 days. We sign off on those all the time, the colonels do, so we always want that to happen.
My last question is, I know that we talked a board meeting or 2 ago about experienced officers coming to the county, and we stated that we take that into account, other experiences that they bring in. So if you have officers that come here with experience in, I don't know, investigation, detective work or whatever, do we take that in consideration, when they come in to actually go to your area, so, because.
Yes, we do, sure, yeah.
People out there.
It's the totality of everything, right? So it's what you bring to us from that department, what, if you're saying like they were in a specialized unit from before and coming over, yeah, that, it's always taken into consideration along with what they've done so far for us and, you know, time frame with us, that kind of thing. But yeah, we're always looking for the best people that we can get.
And my other last question. Yeah, the last. When you're going into these homes and you're investigating, you're trying to, you know, I know it's difficult for people to open up and talk, you know, when there's crime going around them in their neighborhoods, in their communities, so forth. So I don't know what the demographic makeup is of your team that does that, but it seems to me that we would benefit by, like, if you're in an Italian community, to have some people that are familiar with that community, Black community, Hispanic community. Do we have enough of a diverse workforce in those areas doing those sort of things where you feel that you're getting the access to the real information because they're comfortable sharing that information with the officers there? To put it bluntly, if you got a bunch of white guys going into a Black neighborhood trying to ask questions about somebody in the neighborhood, they might not get as far as a Black officer who's familiar with that community who's asking the same question.
And I hear that through different departments also. I can tell you for just speaking on ours, and listen, yeah, anytime we can get the best people, diversity also, you know, it's a big thing, obviously. But our detectives up there, whatever race they are, do a fantastic job. It's more about the communication and being able to talk to people. And they really do believe, I believe they do a fantastic job with that. And that shows in our clearance rate, and it shows how we're clearing these and actually getting warrants on these suspects. We wouldn't be doing that if we didn't have the evidence to go along with it, but also witness statements and statements from neighbors who, when it comes down to it, they don't want it. They want to be able to walk out of their house and get in a car and not worry about getting shot.
Well,
So,
absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely. Don't take it, my comment the wrong way. I'm not suggesting they're not doing a great job.
No, I understand.
Not them, that I'm concerned about.
Sure.
It's the people on the other side being more open and open and welcome to the communication.
No, it's a valid point. Yes.
Good.
Yep.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I have one. Commissioner Thompson and I were in a program with the FBI, and one of the things that struck me was their child abuse and special investigations people, they have to, on an annual basis, be evaluated from a mental health perspective, just because of the sick stuff that they have to do on a daily basis. Do we have any
So, you know,
things similar to that?
yes, we've done it for a while. We've done it for a while. Back in the days when I was still in the Bureau, we had to meet every so often, everybody up there. I think it's kind of gone by the side a little bit. So it's something that we probably definitely need to look at again. But yeah, it happened to be once a year they had to meet with a psychiatrist just to talk, a counselor.
The FBI has pretty compelling statistics that show that it really should be done on an annual basis. So
Yes, sir.
I would encourage us to do that because those people, there's a special place in heaven for them.
Yep, they do a great job.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good point he made, that we should definitely do that on a more consistent basis, which is another reason why it might be beneficial to rotate folks around and not have them stay there too long.
The only issue with that is that you get the experience from what everybody gains, and then you lose that
I
really
get it.
quickly.
Yeah, that's balancing. They can come back.
That was my final question. I don't have another final question.
Anything else from me?
I have two. One is to tag along to Commissioner Thompson's. So we can't measure the results of or the impact of Save Lives Now. Do you have an estimated time frame on when we can see whether all of our effort into this is actually paying dividends?
So we keep track of everybody we talk to. We have all that information. We have what we gave them, what resources were there to help, did all that. So the best way for us to do that is by checking in on our databases, right? If we see that someone we talked to now showed up in a police report for a shooting somewhere down the line, then we probably didn't it didn't take as much as we wanted it to take, right? So it is a later process before we can really see if this is substantially worked.
I'll ask my question again. So when will we have that? End
You-
of next year, June of next year?
I'd say it'd probably be, I don't think 6 months is enough time to say that it worked. I really don't. So I think you're talking about a year or so before we go back in and say this individual was not involved in any other crime that we can tell and it worked.
Okay. It's on an individual level, but this is supposed to have macro level.
Yeah, and the UMSL, who keeps track of this, they have their own recording system also of how to keep track of this. I'm mostly talking about the people that I know that we've talked to and have, went face-to-face with to see how it's going as far as the county level goes.
It'd be nice to see both types of measures. I have no idea what they are, but it might be worthwhile for us to take a look at them.
Yes, sir.
My other only final question is on that previous screen where we were doing all the conveyance for all the municipalities. Why do we do that?
Well, I think there are warrants that come to us. There are warrants. So like St. Louis County warrants. So Florissant gets a warrant that he's wanted in St. Louis County. It's our conveyance, it's our warrant. They can bring them. I mean, they could let them go if they, if we don't come pick them up. So it's our responsibility to get them. And a lot of it's city. It's a lot of times going back and forth from the city doing that. That's why I really do wish we could spend more time helping the precincts out. There's enough work for them to stay busy during that whole shift.
I'll leave that as my final question. I may round back to you for a greater understanding.
Okay, yes, sir. Anything else?
One quick question to, I think it was Tony's second final question, was on the, no, on the makeup. Obviously, DCI is a very sought-after specialized unit because of the work you guys do. That's where I'd want to be in the department.
Yes, sir.
What's the makeup currently in terms of women and minorities in your department of DCI?
Percentages, I couldn't tell you. I'm not going to sit here and try to
Sure.
tell you something. I can get that information for you, sir, but I can get that quickly. I just don't want to tell you wrong.
Okay, but not percentages, just number-wise? I mean, we got a couple women, we have a couple minorities. What do we have?
Yes, that's the case. We have multiple females, multiple minorities, yes.
Okay.
But I'm sorry, I don't have that.
That's okay. I wouldn't expect you to. I just following up to Commissioner Thompson.
That's an interesting.
I'll expect you next time.
What do we have as far as language skills? I'm curious, like with the Bosnian influence in the say the 3rd precinct and Hispanic, do we have people in your
Up in the bureau
operation that speak these foreign languages?
Spanish, I believe, but Bosnian, I don't believe we have. Anytime we need help from that, we have a general order that who to contact through communications and work to get somebody to speak that, but I don't think we have a ton of different speaking languages up there.
But you have access to someone who can assist you with that.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other question for the captain?
Thank you all.
Sir, well done.
Have a great
You
day.
got 2 hours done in 10 minutes, so it's okay.
In reference to one of your questions about the seniority, we get guys here that maybe spent a number of years in another police department and have experience in homicide investigations, and they come here within 2 years, they want to put in for a position upstairs, and we have officers that have been here for years that put in for that same position, and although we want the experience, we look at seniority also.
Oh, I understand that. Absolutely.
We hear it all the time about, we want police officers to match the areas that they patrol in regards to race. And we do our darndest to handle that, but we don't want to just put everybody in one position. For a time, we had no African Americans working in the South County precincts. And now we try to put some down there to work in the South County precincts, but yeah, to your concern, all these municipalities, neighborhoods want officers to match their population.
Well, you understand the challenge is that historically,
Sure.
there's just been a problem with the treatment of blacks in the black community by white officers. This department in St. Louis County has come a long way. We don't have those same issues today that we had 20 years ago. But I just want to make sure as we move forward in that trend that we continue to have because it's important to have a diverse workforce in those communities. It's just as important that the white community see blacks policing them as it is for black community to see whites policing. So I understand all that, but we can't have a perception that blacks can't police whites and whites can't police blacks. We got to make sure everybody understands that we're Americans and we all have to support each other. And as it relates to the seniority, I definitely understand individuals that have been with St. Louis County for years, they deserve the first opportunity to move into another department or area because they put in the time. I certainly recognize that. I just want to make sure we're looking at it and we're holding true to that statement because there may be cases where folks who didn't have as much experience get moved into a department and you have folks who had experience but they weren't with the district maybe perhaps as long, but the experience for the position was well needed and warranted. So I don't know what level of scrutiny and detail you go into when you're making those decisions. That's just something I wanted to throw out there, because it's something that I run into in our business all the time as well, balancing out folks who've been here, and just because you've been around doesn't mean that you have the experience and expertise that you need for that particular position. So, you know.
I know that when I was appointed chief years ago, 21, that was one of the biggest concerns that I've had is diversity on this department, because that's something that we have been dealing with, working with, trying to improve for years. And we're still in that position, trying to improve that diversity within our department.
Right.
And you get grilled because you try to make moves based on diversity. I know that doesn't hold up in court, but we agreed that we're going to work on that with this department when I was appointed chief. So we're working on that. I can tell you now that DCI is probably the division that has the least diversity in it. When you hear the numbers, you'll see that. But we're working to improve that. And what we also encourage is, like the captain said, get people out there to see what DCI is about, to be a part of it. But you got to want to do that. You got to want to be a part of it and get out there and see what it's like. So we're working on all of that.
And I see it, and I see that you're doing that. And just to be clear, in case anybody misinterpreted anything I'm saying, I never expect any minorities to be in a position just because they're black. I never expect anyone black to get moved into a position because they're black or white or female or other. But what I do want is folks to be very objective when they're looking at the experience and the qualifications and the education of the individuals, because you will find, and I have found, that it's a lot of women and our blacks are more qualified and educated than the whites to get put in some of those positions. And I want to make sure that we're just consistent across the board.
Will do, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Who's up? I think Aaron's. You're up. Yes, sir. Aaron?
Do you have the
Board of Police Commissioners, good morning.
Morning, sir.
Want to thank you in advance for your time. I was told I have 2 hours,
Okay.
so I appreciate that. Okay, my name is Aaron Schaefer, Captain of the Bureau of Logistics and Technology, here to provide you an overview of my bureau. The Bureau was established on February 26th of this year. We had a department organizational chart change, and I can say it's been beneficial to the department because it's enabled us to have even greater concentrated focus on our strategic objectives. This is our organizational chart, and you see everything that's highlighted in yellow is the Bureau of Logistics and Technology. The Bureau of Logistics and Technology is within the Division of Operational Support, led by Lieutenant Colonel Mann. As a Bureau Commander, I have the great opportunity to work with and lead the Department Armory in 3 units: the Central Police Records Unit, the Vehicle and Supply Unit, and the Police IT Unit. Within these units, our sections or teams, each comprised of dedicated staff with a mix of commissioned officers and professional staff. Our total staff is 67. 58 of those are professional staff, and 9 of those are commissioned officers in the Bureau of Logistics and Technology. To kind of give you a breakdown of the staffing within the Bureau, the Central Police Records is our biggest unit within the Bureau. It's got 43 staff members. 5 of those are commissioned. The Central Police Records unit is broken down into 5 sections. The record room section, the computer-assisted report entry, our CARE section, which CARE is our records management system, which is our police reports. The private security section, sex offender registration and enforcement section, and the camera systems section. Next is our police IT unit. Our police IT unit has 19 staff, 2 of which are commissioned. Our vehicle and supply unit has 4 staff, and our department armory has 1 commissioned officer. We currently have 3 openings, 2 in records and 1 in care, so we're doing fairly well on staffing right now. We also have some intermittent employees in our Bureau, 6 total. Our intermittent employees are our part-time employees, and they help out with our care section, our camera system section, and we have a recent new intermittent employee officer that's going to help out with private security and our sex offender registration and enforcement. I want to take a moment just to introduce the Bureau leadership that's here. They do an outstanding job day in and day out leading their staff, their units, their sections. So I take a moment, I want to introduce Deneen Hunter is here, our care section coordinator. Tori Evans, our record room section coordinator. Sergeant Graff with our police IT unit. He leads our police IT unit. James Hallgren is in our police IT unit, leads our hardware support team. Jerome Dixon is our police IT unit software development team. And then Brian Slattery, who got a chief's commendation earlier, is a supervisor of our vehicle and supply unit. So they do an outstanding job day in and day out. You all know Lieutenant Tracy Panis, she could not make it today, and Sergeant Naughton is actually with Utility. Utility is our body camera, in-car camera systems. They're actually in town today, so he's with them all week long working on some new equipment and some training. So we have an outstanding mix of formal and informal leaders in our bureau, whether it's first-line supervisors in care, our directors, our coordinators. In addition, many of our staff have completed or currently attending the Leadership Development Institute. That's highly encouraged. We had some that graduated earlier this year, and we've got some that are in our bureau that are graduating in December. So I'm thankful to say interest is high. Okay. Our bureau relies heavily on collaboration. To get an idea of the daily operations of the bureau, it's important to kind of shine a light on who our regular collaborators are. These are stakeholders, partners, vendors that we work with on a daily basis. The public being the big one, the record room, public's in and out of the record room, getting record requests, sunshine requests, professional licensing. Department staff, our own employees, commissioned officers, professional staff. County departments, there's a lot of county departments we work with, county IT, county counselor's office, fleet management, public works, and procurement. Regis, Regional Justice Information Services, and Missouri State Highway Patrol Technical Services Bureau are a big partner, especially with our record room and police IT. And police departments within our county and then counties throughout the state of Missouri. Leon's our uniform and supply vendor, and Wireless USA, who does a lot of the outfitting of our police vehicles. Easy Warrant, Prosecuting Attorney's Office, and 21st Circuit Court have been big partners for quite some time, and especially this year as we move to remote search warrant applications. Automobile companies, equipment manufacturers would include like light bars, sirens in police vehicles, weapon systems, vests, flares, stop sticks, and then also hardware software companies. Dell, Panasonic, Utility, Lenovo, Microsoft, we work with them regularly. Now I'm going to kind of break down each unit really quick. The Central Police Records Unit, so that's broken down into 5 sections. A record room section, the record room is open to the public 5 days a week, 7:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., Monday through Friday. It is closed on holidays. Most of our requests are done online, but some are in person. They average about 15,000 record requests a year. About 13,000 of those are done online, and about 2,000 of those are done in person in Clayton on the street level of headquarters. We do make it a great emphasis on making it user-friendly to the public. There's a kiosk right before you enter the record room where the public can go there. They enter preliminary information as far as name, purpose of their visit. We give them some helpful hints, and then they get a wait time. It can either be texted to them, or if they don't have a phone, it gives them a wait time on the screen, and they just have to listen for their name if they don't have a phone. So we make it very user-friendly. Wait time is about 10 minutes or less. At the end of the month, it is longer. Our security licenses expire at the end of every month. So that last week of every month, we have a larger crowd there. We do have on our department website that kind of caution that, you know, at the end of the month, it's a lot busier. But we make it happen. So the public would come to the record room for public record requests, sunshine requests, fingerprinting services, professional licensing, sex offender registration. Our care section is 24/7, 365. They are essential employees. The care unit is staffed, like I said, 24/7, 365. They are answering phones from officers, from citizens that are calling in police reports. They work around the clock. Year to date, they've done 12,538 reports. The care section also does our crime reporting. So we report national incident-based reporting statistics, and NIBRS and MIBRS is our crime reporting, and the care unit is the one that does the crime reporting to the state and the FBI for our police department. Sex offender registration enforcement section. Currently, there are 1,948 current sex offenders registered and monitored within St. Louis County. About 300 to 400 have monthly check-ins where they go into Clayton and check in with our sex offender registration enforcement unit. The private security section, it's the licensing of private security officers, couriers, and polygraph. So a lot of times those will be the in-person visits to the record room. If you have to get your professional security license, watchman, courier license, you have to do that in person. So that partnership with the private security section, that is a partnership with the St. Louis County Police Department and the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department. So we have a city supervisor and 4 city employees that work with us on the licensing. So St. Louis County can issue licenses for the city and the county due to this partnership that exists. And then the camera system section, they manage our data of our cameras, the maintenance and upgrading of equipment and training. They process a lot of requests from the county counselor's office and the prosecuting attorney's office for discovery in cases. And then also public records requests, processing. If a citizen wants a body cam or dash cam, the camera system sections will work on those records and redact anything that needs to be redacted per state law. And then the vehicle and supply unit. So they focus on purchasing and equipping our vehicle fleet, vehicle inventory administration, maintenance of department supplies, supervision of our uniform and equipment program, administration of training and travel, and acquiring assets. To kind of just give you some numbers, we have 850 total vehicles on the police department. 550 of those are marked. Our vehicle acquisition budget is $3 million. This year, we've made 412 requisitions, purchase orders, totaling $21 million. And then they also manage the acquisition of uniforms, armor, and equipment. That's about $740,000. And then training and travel packets. For our staff that goes on any sort of training and travel, those get filtered through the vehicle and supply unit and go through county government as well. They've done 283 packets this year so far.
Do you have a sense how many take-home cars we have where officers bring the vehicles home?
You know, we have, I could get that information to you. I don't have it right now, but we do have that number. Yes, sir. Yep. Department Armory, we have Jason Dite is our department armor. He's got 23 years on the police department. He's very well trained in our weapon systems, both in the capability of the systems and the training he has for repairs. He's certified with a lot of different gun manufacturers on fixing and repairing our guns in-house. He works on the purchasing, issuing, and maintenance of the weapons, the practice ammunition program in coordination with the vehicle and supply unit, testing and recommending new weapons systems, assisting our academy. He is often either at headquarters or he's at the academy, whether it's detailing firearms or assisting with range training. He's a member of our weapons system committee, and he is oftentimes our go-to person for any input we have on firearms. And that just kind of gives you an inventory of the firearms we have on the police department. The big transition this year is changing from the .40 caliber to the 9mm, from Sig Sauer to Springfield Echelon. And then the police IT unit. So the police IT unit's broken down into 2 teams. We have a software development team and then a hardware support team. The hardware support team allows us to rapidly implement changes, tailor our features to specific needs, and provide better support and security and reduce our long-term costs. Having a software development team in-house, we're able to kind of build these systems that all integrate with each other and have compatibility across all systems. So for example, our CARE is our records management system. All the data in a CARE report would filter into our internal case management tracking system. All that information in our case management tracking system also goes to a portal that the prosecutor uses. So it really reduces the data entry that our officers out on the street would have to do if we did not have that compatibility and that integration. So CARE has been around since 1984. A lot of agencies use CARE, and it has great benefits to the region, and especially our police department, on reducing data entry because of that integration and interface. There's actually 84 agencies that rely on our software for their day-to-day operations, and some of those are just a list of the programs above that they would use. 42 of those are within St. Louis County. Also, our hardware support team. Our hardware support team, we have 6 mobile tech specialists, and they work throughout the county. We have some stationed at headquarters, but we also have 18 off-site locations that they work on throughout the county. They manage about 75 to 100 help desk tickets a week. So being that they're geographically fanned out throughout the county, they can respond quickly to any mobile tech issues that an officer may have or a professional staff person may have for a request. 2,500 devices are about what we have on the police departments. That's laptops, desktops, mobile data terminals, our in-car computers, tablets, smartphones, network printers, and specialized police equipment. So those mobile tech specialists have to know how to manage and troubleshoot and fix a lot of different devices, and they're out there in the field very responsive to our staff. The next thing I'll talk about is I cannot talk about police IT or IT in general without mentioning the word artificial intelligence. You hear that word probably every day in any profession you're in right now. And we are in a very good position. So through our Strategies for Policing Innovation grant, we were able to invest $367,000 in grant funds in a very powerful AI computer. We have it here now, and there's a lot of work that needs to be done before we kind of roll it out, but we're working with Dell on a weekly basis. And the goal of this AI computer is to modernize operations, improve officer support, and enhance our data quality. We do think, we do know it's going to help out with efficiency, safety, and investigative capability. To kind of give you an idea of this AI computer, it's 240 volts of power. So it generates a whole lot of heat, so it needs lots of cooling. But we're working with our partner, and we do have a storage location for that. And Dell is going to be in town probably the first quarter of 2026 for a 4-week residency, working with our hardware team and our software team on getting that up and running. We do have an AI plan, and we've got kind of 5 points that we're going to focus on. A lot of it is integration of streamlining police reports, some voice work that we can do so it's safer for the officers. Maybe they could call out a license plate as opposed to type it in. Those are some of the things that we're working on with our AI computer. But I do know that we have the right team in place. It's a very ambitious plan, but we have the right team committed to seeing this through, and I'm confident that our police IT team will do it and make it happen. Next thing I want to kind of talk about is these are just like kind of little wins that I think are worth noting. The Bureau has onboarded multiple police agencies and trained officers in CARE this year. We onboarded Maryland Heights, Ferguson, and Hazelwood. They now use our CARE system. We did some restructuring in police IT to more effectively address some of our objectives. Load-bearing vests for security officers, the acquisition of the Springfield Echelon. We had a long, full-day FBI audit of our practices on August 6th, and that was very successful. They were auditing really Missouri State Highway Patrol, but they had to pick 2 law enforcement agencies that partner with Missouri State Highway Patrol and spend a whole day with them asking for a lot of written documents and materials. They picked us and Jefferson County Police Department, and we did very well. No issues on the audit, and that was really a tribute to the team we have in place. Online reporting, citizens can report online reports now. We can do that through CARE. We made some upgrades in that. We made some notification enhancements to our performance evaluations, employee of the quarter recognition, and then we've saved a lot of money this year in terms of using technology. So we're less reliant now on physical media, whether it's USB drives or CDs. A lot of it we're able to share digitally with the prosecutor's office, the county counselor's office. So our budget on physical media has decreased. And then our remote search warrant applications on August 1st, all police departments went to doing remote search warrants. So it really has cut down on our overtime and our fuel of having to drive all over county to get a search warrant issued. It's all done online now in a secure system through Easy Warrants. And then we had a team building workshop earlier this year with a wellness unit that was a really nice event. And then these are just kind of, hey, it's a show me state, so I just kind of wanted to show you some of the enhancements we've made in the Bureau. Business cards, we're happy to do this. These business cards are updated. The new one obviously has a QR code that directs to our webpage. It aligns with our department branding scheme. It's got an updated professional look. And at the end of the day, we ended up saving $10 upgrading the business card. So that worked out pretty well. Public feedback is very important in our record room. So when Megan is working the desk, working the counter in the record room, her name is on there with a placard with a QR code. So public can scan that QR code and talk about their experience. It directs them to a website where these are the questions they would get asked. It's 4 questions. So once they scan that with their phone, this information is compiled and sent to sent to myself, the supervisors in the Bureau, and we can review that, how their experience was. So it's nice to get that feedback.
Is she the only one?
No, everyone has a placard that's forward-facing in our record room,
I
yeah.
wasn't sure whether she was just your beta, your
No, they all have the placards there. So yeah, just to kind of give you an example. We opened our dressing room up in the vehicle and supply unit. I just thought that was good. This was previously used for storage, but it had a mirror in there and it was designed to be a dressing room. So we just kind of moved some storage around, and it provides an opportunity for our staff to change, adjust their uniform during fitting instead of having to go into the public restroom with all their equipment, take that off and change. So this was a nice enhancement in the vehicle and supply unit. And then cable management. So the photo to the left is not ideal, and this is credit to our mobile tech specialists that took it upon themselves to make this happen. So step one is obviously put it in a secure box that's safe and greater protection from the elements, increased security, and then it really improves troubleshooting when you have to fix a problem. And I would much rather look at the photo in step two than step one. So kudos to them. And this is the work that they do. This is the things that they come up with.
Are they available to come to my house?
Yes, sir. And then what's next? Challenges ahead. I say challenges, but they're really opportunities. Right now, we're working with the Public Information Office on short tutorial videos for the public. So we're going to walk the public through what it's like to visit the record room. So there'll be very short clips. It'll show them coming into headquarters, being greeted by security, and then they'll go in and get the records that they get. So we just kind of want to walk the public through that process. They can do that from the comfort of their own home, watch a YouTube video if they want to, just to know what to expect. So we're working on that. I mentioned earlier on-site residency with Dell, first quarter of 2026, and I'd be happy to talk about that later. There's a federal mandate for all websites to be ADA compliant April 24th, 2026, so we are headed in the right direction and making a lot of progress in that, and we will be in compliant by that deadline, and that's kudos to our police IT team. And just consistently be measured and thoughtful when we're integrating technology into our operations. There's a lot of companies out there. It's important that we vet what works best for the police department, focusing on privacy and security of data as well, and seeing what our needs are and using technology to make things more efficient. So, and the last is just overall developing staff through training and succession planning. And this next video is the police IT group having a little fun, so. So that's it. That's it for the Bureau of Logistics and Technology. So I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Great. I have one question for you.
Yes, sir.
A lot of departments like the Highway Patrol make their reports available online. Are we going to move to that eventually where you can get a report online without having to come in and physically?
You can, yes. So of those 15,000 record requests that we do, you can get a police report online. You can do it from the comfort of your own home. If you have internet access, there's a link on our department website. It's a Next Request link. You click on Next Request, and that takes you to where you would request a police report online.
Got it.
Yep.
When it comes to AI, Commissioner Thompson and I are in the engineering business. and
Sure.
there are national associations that are kind of studying and creating best practices so that, individual companies aren't burdened with that expense. Are you able to work with other departments nationally, kind of best practices, sharing who's doing what?
Yes, we have to. We have to. If
How
not,
do we do that? I mean, I know we've cut our training budgets and our travel budgets. I'd hate to see us being, penny wise and pound foolish.
yeah, I mean, I think we're in a really good spot right now with I don't know many departments right now that have their own AI computer, and we got that through a grant, so that was from years ago, and it was very much forward thinking. And I know that we have the team in place to make it happen, but yeah, we do reach out to other police departments kind of a similar scale as us and just kind of see where they're at, what they're using. A lot of conversation we've been having too has been around digital evidence and how to make digital evidence happen. So yeah, we do kind of get input and see in ways where we can kind of take ideas or share ideas with other police departments. So, yep.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
One more set of
Yes.
questions. The Armory, So where are we on the, sorry to go tactical, but I'm going to
That's
ask, where are
okay.
we on the firearm transition?
Yeah, we hope to be done by the end of the year. I think there's right now, there's some equipment that still needs to be sent in, delivered to us. But I think we're still on track for the end of the year, if not the first month of the year.
Thank you.
Yeah, transition's going well. Thank you.
Thank you.
$300 you can buy a cig.
I think these guys took all my time, so I'll just email you my PowerPoint.
All right, thank you.
All right, this is the West County Precinct. Good morning.
Morning.
Almost afternoon. This is our location. We're at 232 Vance Road in Valley Park. Full-service police station. We can do it all here. We're comfortable there. It's a good location right in the middle of the precinct. This is our precinct here. We're pretty spread out. We go from 270 Manchester area all the way out past Eureka near Pacific. Municipal partners, we have the Valley Park Detail and Twin Oaks. Valley Park consists of 14 officers and a lieutenant. And Twin Oaks is one full-time officer that works there. We have a great relationship with both cities. We have four school resource officers for Rockwood, Valley Park, and Parkway. They all do a great job. Our chain of command is Lieutenant Williams is day watch, Lieutenant O'Fallon is nights, Lieutenant Ed McGee is the administrative lieutenant. He does a great job and he helps manage our NPO's neighborhood policing office. He works with Twin Oaks and everything in between, so he does a great job. And Lieutenant Flynn handles Valley Park. He has a great relationship with them, and he manages that all by himself, basically. I have little to say in that. 3 out of the 4 are on the promotion list for captain, so that's a good thing. Here's our successes as a precinct. We're down about almost 24% in crimes against persons, so we're doing really good there. Property, we're down almost 23% for the year, so we're doing excellent there as well. Some of our main challenges that we see in the precinct are car break-ins and theft from retail businesses, so we work hard on those and keeping track of those and sending the patrol officers there where we need the certain areas. Other staffing challenges, like everyone else, we're short officers, but we're gonna do the best we can with what we have. And so far right now, we have about 25 on patrol in just the main precinct area, and then the other 14 do Valley Park. Some other challenges is we have a large geographical area that we cover. Some main highways, 44 on 141, so there's traffic accidents all the time there, and with all the transit, people transitioning through the highways, it causes a lot of problems. And then we have the Merrimack River, which floods almost yearly, so it wasn't as bad this year, but we did get the floodgates closed once. Community engagement, we do the neighborhood pop-ups, HOA meetings. We have a teen academy going on right now. We've done citizen police academies, so we cover it all doing that way. One of the new things, this is my last thing here, so that was pretty quick. Ex-patrol tracking is something I've kind of wanted to do for a while. We have a mapping system, so we have somebody, when the officers, since it's a self-initiated assignment now, we have an officer, when they document it in their activity sheets of places they've gone in their beat, we can plot those on a map now. We can see what streets we're covering and what we're not. The black dots are for nights, the yellow ones are for days. And so this is just a look. It's pretty new, so we're just getting going, but you can drill down on these and you can see more specific areas. You can click on them and you can see the date and time. So hopefully over time, we can see areas that we're not covering with documented extra patrols. And then if someone asks, well, if you ever been on my street, hopefully we can pull it up and we can see the date and time of when we patrolled their street. So hopefully this will just help with such a big area and covering a lot of ground. This will help keep us in the areas we need to be and then tell us any areas that we're not covering so we can
direct the patrol officers to that. And this is a drilled down version where you can see the streets, and then if it was active, you could click on one of the yellow dots and it'll tell you the date and time. That's all I got.
Now, the tracking, is that something the officer has to initiate, or is that automatic?
They do it already. They when they're on patrol, they document an extra patrol on their activity sheets. And they do that all shift. They do it throughout the precinct. We're just taking that information and we're putting it on a
They
map.
initiate it, it's not
Yeah,
automatic. Okay.
yeah, they initiate it. Yep.
Great. And on that teen program, have we harvested any potential recruits out of there?
I don't think we have any official ones yet, but it's a
18, you can be a security officer.
it's a good program. It starts at Rockwood South Middle School, and then it kind of introduces them into Explorers. And we've had kids go through it 2 or 3 times. It's after school, so they don't have to leave school and come back or anything. So I think they've got about 20 kids in it right now. And this is, I think, the 3rd one they've done at least. Yeah.
I work in your precinct and drive through it every day, to and from, and I would say I'm always impressed by the officers. As I run in to get a soda someplace, they have no idea who I am, just Joe Public, and they're always very friendly, very professional. Their dress is great, their cars are clean.
Good.
And,
Are you speeding when you drive through, or are you? No comment.
Well, I appreciate that. Yes, they do an excellent job. So I'm lucky to have the ones I have. Anything else? All right, thank you.
I like that. Okay, anything else, Chief? Okay. Well, in front of us, you should have in your folder the October 14th, 2025 minutes from our meeting. Are there any changes anyone sees? If not, is there a motion to accept the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, okay. Diane, I turn to you now for communications, whether they be incoming or outgoing communications. Do we have any?
No, neither.
Okay.
Can I ask about, there's a gentleman who's emailing us probably more than a dozen times. Are we?
Yeah, I've been asking the county counselor's office for a ruling on that. They have been very slow with that, but I get the same emails, and in fact, I think we just got another 12. But they started speaking about the Sunshine Law. And
Right.
And it's public record, and so they're still looking into that, but I understand your cry. I'm with you on that, so I'll follow up again.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything else? Under old business?
I have one item under old business.
Yes, sir.
It pertains to the damage done to vehicles. I have a motion that I'm holding right now, and I'll continue to hold, but I've worked in the past several weeks with some people who understand county governance, and I think in closed session, we'll have a resolution to that, so hopefully we'll get our employees taken care of in the next coming weeks.
And I understand that the county counselor is meeting with us in closed session as well to discuss the paint issue. Hopefully, we can get that
Sure.
addressed.
So
Okay.
I'll hold my motion.
Thank you. Thanks for bringing it up. Right, under new business, we have police service agreements. We have A through I. Having reviewed those, is there a motion that we approve?
So
the
moved.
PSAs?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Diane, I look to you again. Under public forum, do we have anything?
No, no public.
All right, well, then we will make a motion here to hold in a closed session. The Board of Police Commissioners may vote to go into closed session meeting for legal advice and review of claims and lawsuits involving the Police Department, Section 610.0211, RSMO, and Section 114.020.11, SLCRO. Is there a motion to go into closed session?
I move that that the board goes into closed session.
Second.
Roll call vote?
Commissioner Ashworth?
Yes.
Commissioner Banks?
Yes.
Commissioner Hassler?
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson?
Yes.
Commissioner Wild?
Yes.
We are in closed session. Thank you, everyone.
Have a great Thanksgiving, everyone.
We are back from closed session. The only vote taken was to return to open session. Our next meeting will be Wednesday, December the 10th for our next Board of Police Commissioners meeting. Is there anything else?
Motion to adjourn.
Do I hear a motion to adjourn and second it? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Ashworth?
Yes.
Commissioner Banks?
Yes.
Commissioner Hassler?
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson? Absent. And Commissioner Wild?
Yes.
See you next month.
Yes.